this talking about? Go ahead and read this. Isaiah 51 and read verse, you know what verse I want. I ain't even turned there. I don't know the verse verbatim. I just know it's Isaiah 51. My fault,
like
brother.
Verse 17 or something.
Starting around verse 17?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay, Isaiah 51, verse 17.
Actually, verse 20.
Starting at verse 20. Go ahead.
Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets.
Listen to this. Because of this condition of this captivity, your sons have fainted. And where you going to find these fainted sons of your people? They at the head of every street. Do you know what the head of a street is? It's the corner.
That's right.
Go ahead.
They lie at the head of the as a wild bull in the net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God.
And how was they acting? He said they lie at the head of every street and they acting like wild bulls trapped in a net. Now a bull that's wild by itself is dangerous, but put a net over a bull and watch it even fight more. This is going to be the attitude and the persona your sons carry when they stand at the head of every street corner, wherever they are, because they are mad and they can't understand and they full of this curse. They are the proof of who you are. Brother, if you would, go to Isaiah chapter 3. And when you get to Isaiah 3, excuse me for fumbling here, but it's windy. My page is blowing. When you get to chapter 3, start reading at verse 11. God is talking to his people, and because of their wickedness, he is proclaiming this on them and their children. And he said, those who died in the initial attack of us being put out of our land, once you in your land, those of y'all who left alive in the land of your captivity, all of this is going to follow you. Now I want you to go ahead, brother. Isaiah chapter 3, start reading at verse 11. Go ahead.
Woe unto the wicked.
All right.
It shall be ill with him.
How you, brother?
For the reward of his hand shall be given him.
Now the wicked from among God's people, he said, woe unto him, because he going to get what do he deserve. And what did God feel that our people deserved at that time because of their wickedness? Go ahead.
As for my people,
this is their punishment. Go ahead.
Children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
He said, as for my people, their punishment is that their children shall be their oppressors. Is it the old men and the old women running around making you scared to be in your own neighborhood? Or is it the young men and the young women that got old people? Hey, after it get dark out here, we on Utica and Jefferson. After it get dark out here, you ain't gonna catch no old people going to that store down there. Not after nightfall, because they scared of their own babies. They scared of their own grandchildren. They scared of their own nieces and nephews. What kind of people is gonna stand when your children are allowed to oppress you? You mean to tell me the parents don't have any strength?
No, sir.
And women shall rule over you? Now, no, I love my own mama and my grandmama. And every brother up here do, because most of us was raised in single parent homes. But this is backwards, that it should be left on our women to rule and bring up and be in charge of the household. They're supposed to run the household with the man. That's why all the movies for black people is Big Mama. But then you got Steve Martin, the white comedian. His movie is Cheaper by the Dozen. Him and his wife can take care of a dozen kids. They can take care of a dozen kids, but you watch Soul Food, it's about Big Mama. Big Daddy been gone a long time ago.
Gone long.
Medea.
You call mama.
She the one who gonna put the house in order. Medea husband supposed to be putting the house in order, but why? Medea husband ain't around. You understand what I'm saying? Women shall rule over our people, and it's not the fault of our sisters that brothers have left their responsibility and left them to take care of the household. But I'm telling you right now, when men stand up, our nation will stand up. The women been holding us up so that we don't fall. It's time for the men to stand up, and this is a sign and a condition from God on his people. Yes, you are his people. But You will not receive the benefit of God unless you do as he tells us. Now, brother, we almost done. We almost out of here. Go to Joel chapter 3. Go to the book of the prophet Joel. Hold my Bible upside down and everything. And when you get there, brother, I think I want you to start reading at verse 1. Joel chapter 3 and verse 1.
For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem,
yes,
I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Now God is talking, hey, when he gathered all nations to do battle, the valley of Jehoshaphat, also known as Armageddon, Megiddo, brothers and sisters, he's letting you know that in the end, at the return of God, he will settle the condition of his people. That's why we have to turn unto him now. So when he makes his return, we will be allowed to inherit the promises. When we read in the beginning, brother, didn't you read that? He said that once we turn back, he will remember the covenant and the promises he made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our forefathers. Ain't that the same thing he did when he led the children of Israel out of Egypt by Moses out of slavery?
Remember the covenant.
He said, Moses, I have heard the cry of my people, and I remember the covenant that I made with their father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and I shall lead them out of captivity. And he did it. And if you go back to Deuteronomy 28, and I believe verse 65, he said, this time, I ain't going to send you back into Egypt walking in. He said, I'm going to send you into Egypt again by ships. We the only people that's been scattered to the four winds of heaven in ships. And what make us unique, it's not that other people haven't suffered and some people haven't been put in slavery somewhere. But you never heard of a whole nation. A whole nation, that's like taking every Japanese person off the islands of Japan, scattering them. And now you put some British people there now. See, that ain't never happened to nobody else except our people. But brother, go ahead and continue on, so we can get to the point. Go ahead, verse 3. Joel 3, verse 3.
And they have cast lots for my people.
This is why God is going to punish these nations, because of their wickedness, and also they have done this to his people. What have they done? What's up, brother?
Lots for my people.
They have cast lots. Do you know what casting lots is? They gamble. That's what casting lots is. Hey, we all pick these straws. Whoever picked the shortest straw, that's called casting lots. They gambling. When you throw dice, you taking a chance. That's gambling. He said they shall gamble on my people and do what to them? Go ahead.
And have given a boy for an harlot. And sold a girl for wine.
They have sold a boy to be with a prostitute. And they have sold a young black woman for barrels of wine. Once again, these pictures we have here, you think these things up here for our health? We got the books these things came out of. But a lot of people don't understand. Do you know that some of these young men and women were actually sold for product? I need them 3 horses you got. What you got for me? Hey, I got a couple young black boys and I got a nice young girl here. She 18, she know how to clean the house, and she work good for master. She know how to sew clothes, take care of the babies. They will sell your sons and your daughters for wine and prostitutes. Who else did this happen to but us? He also said in the prophets, they shall put fetters of iron, they shall put iron on your neck and chains on your hands. Don't you know that this was, you know what made the captivity and the enslavement of black people unique from all other slaveries? Because you never seen these pictures on the tombs of the Egyptians or any other people who were known to have slaves. You see?
We hope that the footage that you have seen today, that it helps you in your walk of salvation in the path of righteousness in the name of God our Father. Brothers and sisters, it is time that the church get outside of its comfortable 4 walls and its pews and its pulpits. You get out there and you publish his name in the streets to the 4 winds of heaven, and hopefully he will bless your ministry. So until next time, we say shalom in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ.